I like how people like dropped out.
Malevolent.
Not interested.
Malevolent. That's correct. Unsubscribe.
Holy moly, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another episode. Thank you.
That crowd, they're wild tonight.
Yeah,
They
they're
are
really,
wild. We got a bunch of just wild people,
Wild
living
horses.
out. Wild horses.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to Soundbooth Theater Live. Why are you saying uh-oh? What are you scared of, Jeff?
Well, I just think that, it would be
Right.
great if our stream became like, a super spreader event of some kind. It'd be great. We need
Not
that
COVID
super-
related.
What? No. What? COVID?
Super spreader. Yeah, what kind of... Aw. Is that...
I'm talking about butt cheeks, man. Come on.
Oh.
You get COVID out of that.
It's
Butt
on my
cheeks?
brain.
Why are you thinking about butt cheeks, Jeff? What's on your mind?
I just think that, when people show their appreciation in that way, it's probably the most authentic.
With
out
their
of
butt cheeks.
Out of any expression of appreciation, maybe.
That is a good point, and that leads me to my next point. Today's episode is brought to you by
The
butt
spreading
cheeks.
of my butt cheeks.
The spreading of Harlan's butt
If you want to know
cheeks.
what Malevolent is, let me show you.
I love how we got awe for COVID
And booing for my
and
butt.
booing for your butt cheeks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The crowd has spoken, I guess.
That's how they be.
That's how they be. We have a wonderful show. If you are sitting in the audience out there, please say hello. We got a number of fantastic people out there. We got Ron Big. We got Benjamin Wagner. Gadfly. What is it? What is a gadfly?
Okay. I don't
It's
know.
like a
those-
botfly.
I hope
Gadfly,
not. Those are the worst.
Gadfly was in my cold read earlier today. So hi, Gadfly. I think maybe.
Hello.
I think
Someone reset Jeff.
Bugs Bunny.
Someone rewound the tape on him.
yeah, I think it was maybe one of Paul Parsons' fans. And Sharoy. Okay, hold on. Sharoy Archie. I've never heard that name. That's
Sharoy Archie from Australia. Hey.
Nanda.
No,
Sharoy.
they
Nanda.
come up with crazy names
right.
down under.
They sure do. Like Justy and Jaffa.
Jeff.
Jeff.
What kind of name is Jeff?
Yeah.
Uh,
I wonder.
and, of course,
do the
we
Sheilas?
can't-
Do the Sheilas in Australia? Do they have
Sheila.
patches?
Sheila.
Drop bears and all the drop bears.
Don't call me Sheila.
You see all
We've
those
also got
fucking crabs they got.
lots of crabs, and
Like
also
giant,
we got.
they got like man, Australia. They got like just
Have you been?
things moving through their country. There's like oh it's December. Yeah, that's when the scorpions just pass over everything. And they got one
the plague
that's like
of
crabs.
scorpions.
It's like giant mud crab looking motherfuckers. They just like sweep the country.
Actually,
They don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's like the giant crabs.
Sharoy, do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Please, yeah.
I don't want to skip over Jared. By the way, we were saying hello to everybody. Jared's up there. Dustin Jackson.
Yeah, and
Justin Jackson's there.
Jared has a
Hello.
rash to show us. Yeah, so maybe
Ooh.
is it like if you're going to spread your butt cheeks to show us the rash, then okay.
Is
But
it
like
on your
any
butt
other
cheek?
rash, it might be it's not. We're not
Irrational.
professionals in
No.
the
Snakes are venomous. Well, everything's venomous in Australia. The koalas are fucking venomous.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Can
like
you
a
get
certain
rabies
type
from
of crab.
koalas?
I'm thinking of.
I think you probably can.
Yeah, for sure. You can get rabies.
There's
from
only one way
anything
to
if you
find
try,
out.
if you try hard enough.
Yeah.
Bite me. Bite me.
Rabies farm.
Come here,
I feel like we need some like background music, some like just like messing around music, like, just like some.
No, it's like yeah, like talk show, like
Yeah.
That's it. That's exactly.
Well,
what I was
we've got a fantastic show for you, folks. We've got Jeff Hayes over to my right, left. And we got- beneath me, we got Harlan Guthrie, the man himself. This is the Donkey Kong part. My name is Justin Thomas James, and boy, do we have a show for you today.
I just
And
want
now to Harlan with the weather.
I want to see a barrel with
fucking hot.
bananas everywhere right now.
Who's mayonnaise everywhere?
Bananas.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right,
so weather?
news.
There's
All right,
bananas everywhere.
Okay, wait a minute. That sounds like the news. The news.
It is the news.
It's a long news intro.
Oh shit. Okay, so let's go ahead and get through this real quick. We have 4 new releases today, I think.
4,
and then one from last week. We have first of all, we have Nightmare Spider Apocalypse by Mr. Dean Hansen. Now, real quick, I'm gonna run through what this is all about.
I proofed that one. I know that one.
Yes, Harlan knows this one. Nightmare Spider Apocalypse was written by a 9-year-old, Mr. Dean Hansen, who is the son of a LitRPG author named Damien Hansen. I'm sure some of you know him. And excuse me. And so I got to narrate as a 9-year-old. That was cool. But what's really, really impressive about this book is that this kid had just recovered from brain surgery right before he wrote this book. And he had brain surgery because he has moya moya disease, which is this crazy thing where your brain has less blood vessels than it needs, and it has more capillaries than vessels. So you don't get enough circulation in your brain. And so apparently eventually he was having seizures and just completely out of energy and everything. So when he had 3 brain surgeries, and they I guess they made, or they took some of the veins and the whatever, they brought that and put it in his brain from the rest of his body, and 3 procedures. Finally, he's doing really well. He's doing really well now. Well enough that he wrote a book. So we put Nightmare Spider Apocalypse together as an audiobook. It is available on soundbooththeater.com, and 100% of the proceeds are going to the family. We're not taking any profits from it. And also, Soundbooth Theater made a donation to the Moya Moya Foundation today when we released this audiobook. So
that's fantastic. Well done, guys. I didn't realize all of that. That's so cool.
Yeah. So
really
I'm proud of the little guy. If you guys want to check the rest of the channel, you'll find I did a reading session with him on the stream. And I did it through a weird injury that came out of nowhere, like literally, like I was doing nothing and all of a sudden I was injured. So I did that. If you guys want to watch that video, you can see Dean being a really cute, just regular 10-year-old kid. So cool. Check out Nightmare Spider Apocalypse on the Soundbooth Theater website. And if you have kids, maybe they'd be interested in it too. I got to narrate as a 9-year-old. That was really fun. And then our other new releases for today: Malevolent, episode 14.
Also written by a 9-year-old, or at least someone with the capacity of a 9-year-old.
Yes, that's correct. I think the author is going to be here a little bit later, and then we'll be able to interview him about the series.
He's coming back, eh?
Yeah, he is. But I've listened through episode 13, so I'm really excited to listen to episode 14. Remember, guys, Malevolent is completely free on our platform, and new episodes of Malevolent. New episodes of Malevolent come out a week before where they used to come out, which was Spotify. So if you want it a week early, you can get it here. And then our last release on our platform is The Last Parsec, The Searchers, by Mr. Shane Hensley himself, the founder of Pinnacle Entertainment, who brought you all of the Wendigo Tales. And this one's narrated by Annie Ellicott and featuring Gary Furlong. So please go pick that up as well. Again,
and I will say for this one, if you have listened to This is The Searchers, there is another Last Parsec story on our platform, and the name is escaping me right now. It's not Echoes.
It's the one that Gary narrated and Annie backed up.
It's the one that Gary narrated. Oh, yes. It is Fabricated Dreams. If you go and listen to Fabricated Dreams, that features the same characters as is in this narration. The difference is that Gary narrated the first one and Annie was featured. And this one, The Searchers, is narrated by Annie and Gary is featured.
How cool is that? I didn't realize that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
We can do fun things like that with the short stories.
Hell yeah, you can.
Hell yeah, we can. All right. So our Audible releases, of course, last week, Miss Bonnie Price's Song of the Depths was released, and that features almost the whole fucking Soundbooth Theater crew. We got Annie Ellicott as the narrator, and a bunch of dudes piled up. Me, Justin Thomas James, Gary Furlong, and Will Watt all have different characters to play in Song of the Depths. And it was a blast. If laborious, there's a lot of goddamn dialogue in this book, but boy, is it worth it. It's so much fun. You guys go check it out. Really weird, sexy aliens in Song of the Depths.
Yes, and big epic battles involving some big epic machines, I think.
And also lots of food porn. Like weird alien food porn too. Like she's just basically one of the main characters owns a restaurant, and he feeds all these aliens, and this alien food is horrific to humans, but like the aliens love it, and so it's a really, really strange way to talk about food. So please, if you want something absolutely bizarre and very entertaining, go check out Song of the Depths by Bonnie Price. Also, we released Deck of Souls by Bonnie Price. Was it 2 years ago? So yeah, two different things to check out from Bonnie. And last but not least, Origin by Aaron Oster. That's book 3 of Land of the Elementals. Finally has released on Audible. It was on our platform for a while. Now, any of you who weren't willing to come to our platform, you can get it on Audible. So go check it out, man. Oh boy, Harlan!
I think I proved that one too. So that's 2 things I proved. That's 3 of the 4 projects that I have somewhat associated with tonight. I'm on for a good show. This is like. Yeah.
Wait, what did you do on Malevolent?
I sued the guy who did it.
Oh yeah, okay. And then you claimed it as your own
because he sounds like me. Stupid prick.
All right. Well, do we have any other news, Justin? Do you want to read anything else, or is that it?
New episode of Dice Shame today.
This just in. Yeah, there's a new episode of Dice Shame. I just thought of that off the top of my head. Yeah, episode of Dice Shame. Episode 97. 97. We're almost at 100. It's been almost 2 years.
00. I know.
100. 001. Yeah, it's been it's been a wild ride. It's a ton of fun producing this show. My alarm is going off, and
stream of Dice Shame.
If you
stop.
If you haven't listened to Dice Shame yet, Dice Shame is a podcast that I produce with Harlan down here and with Joe Fallick, our incredible DM and story master, and Rob Diabald and Alex Guthrie, who has some relation to Harlan fraternally.
Loose.
And for 2 years we've been playing Dungeons and Dragons, recording it, editing it, adding sound effects, music, and
Jeff has a little cameo on episode like 80 something. 80.
That's right.
Or something.
Yeah, I'm on 0.0006% of your material. Remember that.
Yeah. So if you don't like Jeff, which I know a lot of you don't, then this is the perfect show for you. No, I'm just kidding. But if you do like Gamelit, it's right there. It's literally the game part of Gamelit. Hey, there you go. Look at it.
Look.
Illustration.
There's Doran, the dwarf, and Jack, the mage, and Kraloth, the cleric.
Yeah, that's me.
That's Red.
I played a fox.
I played
a fox. Fox chicken. Well, his ears are cut off. For secret reasons.
Oh, yes. But he's got like chicken legs.
Secret reasons.
Yeah, he wraps them. There's lots of reasons. But anyway, yeah, check it out. It's something we're proud of.
There we go.
Awesome. That's a really cool illustration. I want to see more. Okay, so real quick, we have something from our resident Aussie here, having some issues with the Soundbooth Theater app. Lots of people do, guys. It's a work in progress. We're a small company. Please. Email us whatever your concerns are. Our tech people want to fix anything that you find, so please do send emails to us. What is it? info@soundbooththeater.com. info@soundbooththeater.com. Tell us what your device is, what your software is, and we'll do our best to polish it off and make sure that you guys are not having any as many issues as happen. And it's we're also improving it. We're also adding more features to the app. We're trying to do the best we can with a team of how many devs do we have? We have 2 web devs and 3 app devs, and none of them are full time. So we're doing the best we can, guys. Please.
Yeah, we're ironing out the kinks. We're working on new updates. A lot of good changes coming in the future. So hang in there and help us out. Help us out. Like, all of your information and support and communication just really does help us narrow in on what you're experiencing.
We're getting better all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
I used to get mad at my school. The people who taught me, they weren't cool, you know? Sometimes you just want to be taught by cool people, and sometimes...
But you have to admit, it's getting better.
It's getting better?
It's getting better. All the time.
Oh, it couldn't get much
worse.
Shut up,
Ahmed. All right, well, I think we're good with news. Besides, Dungeon Crawler Carl 4, watch out for it. It's going to be out any minute now.
Watch out.
That's like the last piece of news. So I know every one of you is looking forward to that. So not really news. Shut up, news. Thank you. All right, Harlan.
Yo.
I think it's time for you to interview the author of the episode.
You want me to interview him? Okay.
Why don't you lead the interview? Yeah.
So, Harlan, what kind of bullshit is this that you do? Well, it's bullshit, but you know what? Shut the fuck up. Why do you have this? I stopped the minute it's on.
No, for seriously though, guys, I have listened all the way through episode 13. I'm kind of pissed off that tonight I'm not going to have time to listen to episode 14, but it'll happen tomorrow. And so, Harlan, what's it been like, man, this whole journey? So, like, for any of you who don't know, we released, like, the first, I guess, the way it's formatted now, it would have been the first 2 episodes of Malevolent.
Yeah.
We released that a while ago. Harlan had remastered it because that was like kind of the first stuff that he'd done before, and he just wanted to spruce it up a little bit. We got Aaron to play the piano with a real acoustic piano so that the theme sounded better. We had him actually arrange it for orchestra and use a MIDI orchestra to make different versions of that theme song. But also Harlan went through and changed a few things here and there, added a little bit of extra content, re-recorded some lines, and Harlan wrote and performed this entire fucking thing, man. And now you're at episode 14. Each episode is like, what, 30 to 45 minutes long?
Yeah, I think this one's 46 minutes. So they're like, hefty fuck you chunks. It's good stuff to... And I mean, for those who are following the story right now, and if you're a fan of Lovecraft or horror in general, I think if you were sort of on the fence about starting it at the beginning, I highly recommend, just because of where it goes, to check it out now, because it is in a very familiar setting now, the Dreamlands, which is essentially a really fucked up version of, our waking world. So there's a real darkness to what we're looking at. And, the Dreamlands has been depicted in many different ways, but I try to do a real... Yeah, that's the website to go to. That's the one that's dedicated to Malevolent. But it has a really, like... I don't know if you've ever seen The Cell with Jennifer Lopez, or like The Fall. You know how like that director does those like crazy vivid worlds? Like that to me was always the idea of a Dreamlands that excited me, and that's what we're trying to do. And I say the royal we because I don't know why it sounds less pretentious to say I.
You and Arthur and John.
Well, and Justin. I mean, I had him record. Well, I asked him. I begged him to record some new tracks for the new episode as well. And it's fantastic. We've pulled some like tunes,
little things,
some spoilers that we're not going to say anything about in terms of the tunes content, but and the original piece that he wrote, he's also sort of constructed it and sort of rearranged it in a number of different ways. So not only is Malevolent following this guy, and again, if you haven't checked it out, it is about a investigator in the 20s who basically wakes up with his eyesight taken. He hears this voice in his head that sees everything and describes what's happening, and neither of them really knows what the fuck happened. And it is a dark, gothic horror that sort of turns into a Monster of the Week feel. I mean, he fights everything from wraiths to ghosts to like
Frenchmen.
tentacle monsters to Frenchmen. He destroys that Frenchman. No, and it's also got a bit of a mystery vibe. You know, Justin and I love role playing, and a lot of what inspired Malevolent was like Call of Cthulhu. So there is an element of like that chance and mystery and scene setting that you would get in a really good horror RPG. So yeah, it's been a fantastic ride so far.
It really pulls the mystery element really pulls the story forward, and it's enticing. And at the end of each episode, it's very. I've listened to 13 as well. It's very easy to just be ready and anticipate the next one. Harlan, if you can, I just want to say actually that the Monster of the Week feel, we have, you know, Malevolent is available for free as well, but the actual, you know, production of Malevolent is happening on your Patreon.
That's right, yeah.
Can you walk us through, like, it's like, you know, 10-minute episodes, but walk us through your process every week.
Sure. So, and again, as Justin just said, so really, Malevolent was and intended to be a choose your own adventure story, and it is. So what I do is every week on my Patreon is I will release a chapter. You know, I think now we're on chapter 73. And every single chapter, which is about 10 minutes, ends in a choice that the patrons get to decide. So if you've heard maybe the first episode, you'll notice that within the first 10, 15 minutes, the protagonist, I believe, has a gun pointed at the back of someone's head. Now, if you're listening to the public release, you'll hear him decide not to shoot. But what that was a choice that the patrons had. They had a choice whether to pull that trigger or not. And genuinely, whatever they figured out, you know, whatever they decided, I would then just write what the next decision sort of comes out to in the storyline. So Patreons not only get that choice, and they get early access to the episodes, obviously, because there's a much quicker turnaround, but you also get to hear a little intro and outro vignette from the entity within the protagonist's head, sort of detailing what the fuck is going on, what the choice was last week, what the implications of the choice could be, and a little bit of scene setting. And that's basically what the week over week looks like for this kind of show. And then publicly, I cut them together every month or so, and put them out live for everyone to enjoy on Soundbooth a week early, and then everywhere else in the world, basically, that an RSS feed will allow a week after. But Soundbooth gets first access because I love them the most, and they.
That's
know
right.
It.
Yes.
Yes, we know it. Yes, we know it.
Yeah, you know it.
So real quick, can we get your Patreon link to put in the description of YouTube?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's Patreon/The Invictus Stream. I'll drop it down in private chat. I believe it is that.
They're very different experiences. I mostly listen on the Soundbooth Theater app myself. As a Patreon, though, like, I've listened to each of those, you know, 10-minute installations, and it has a totally different feel, because the way it's done on the like the 45-minute episodes, it's pretty seamless. Like, it all kind of flows together really nicely, and it doesn't feel too much like, oh, that was a decision made. You have to listen to the Patreon to be like, oh, that's where it stopped. And now that I've kind of experienced both, I'm listening and like, is that a decision, or is this the decision? You know?
Well, and you know, we're at a point right now where we're genuinely lucky that the Patreon decision, you know, there's maybe under 20 people that are deciding the fate of this show that many people are listening to. So it's not like you're going to be added to droves of hundreds and sort of not really get a voice. What happens every week, and I see it, is that the decision, the poll, will come up live on the Patreon, and people will go to our Discord and furiously debate back and forth about what they think should happen. And some people feel so strongly about certain things, because a lot of these choices are pretty meaningful. Some of them are sort of, you know, you go left or right, but a lot of them are like that first choice. Do you shoot or do you not? Which impacts greatly. And there have absolutely been bad choices that immediately the entity scolds them for. And have been, the worst case scenario is ties. Ties get real bad. The entity, his own person, really doesn't like that. So it has a really cool fluid nature, but the design of it, exactly as Justin said, it really sort of encompasses both listening types. If you're an active listener, if you're somebody who loves stringing that red wool between the cards on your cork board and like finding the connections, and you want to be integral to the way the story takes shape, and you truly are, then becoming a patron allows you to do that. If you are a more passive listener and you're just somebody who's like, okay, you know what, I want to just relax and enjoy the story, come into Soundbooth Theater around the second last week of every month to get the latest episode is absolutely the way to go, because you're going to get, your own way to quote unquote play the game, which I think is what's most exciting to me about it.
One thing I would like is some kind of, I don't know, like maybe a short stream someday where I can ask you a bunch of questions about the series that would normally be really spoilery, right?
Yeah,
like,
let's do it.
Because I have tons of questions that I'm
A spoiler stream.
I
love it.
The relationship between the entity and Arthur is just very, very strange. And some of it I understand and some of it I don't. And I'm very curious about it. So yeah, I think if we were to discuss it, maybe like sometime on your Patreon.
Hey, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah. And there's also the protagonist has a backstory too that's slowly being unveiled. There are layers as well, which I'm very excited about. And the people who are a diehard fan of the show, which there are many, I'm happy to say, are really supportive. And there's like so much fan art and stuff for it, which is really, really cool. So no, I'm really happy, and I'm really happy to be working with you guys on getting it, early for all those people.
We do have a question from a Facebook user. Hello, Facebook user. Do you have a plan for quote-unquote alternate versions a la MCU DC Multiverse where you pursue one or more other choice branches?
So it's interesting. There's a few episodes where I didn't have time, like if I was going on vacation, that I had to do both outcomes. And luckily they weren't like major differences, but they were different enough that I had to record two entirely different things. Thank you, Ron, by the way. Basically, I have those in a little folder, and I think absolutely if there is enough interest, eventually I will show the other side of the coin for maybe some major choices. What I could see happening, especially if we reach a certain tier, is, allowing the community to vote. Have a list of all the choices and maybe pick their top 3, and then me showing maybe a 30-minute vignette, sort of fast-forwarded snippets of what would have happened along that timeline. Because I think that's a fucking brilliant idea, and I turn these out fast enough. And Justin sort of asked it earlier, and I didn't want to pontificate for too long, but more or less every week I sit down on Monday morning, read the results of the poll, write it, record it, add sound effects, finish it, and it's pretty much done by Monday night to upload for Wednesday. And I do that every single week. So the choose your own adventure is as pure as it gets. There is no, I have an underlying story, obviously, so that it doesn't feel completely random, but it truly is something that gives you the feeling of choose your own adventure, as Ron just said, because I love those books growing up as well. And I absolutely want to reward the people who enjoyed that so much. And that really is the nature of the show.
Maybe the next step is a Netflix-style Bandersnatch type.
Let's do it, where you can choose on your remote.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The Black Mirror, right? Yeah.
Black Mirror, yeah, that's it. So the moral of this story is go pick up Malevolent.
Go get it right now.
Go check out
for the low price.
If you get really into
$0,
it, so that you can support Harlan as he creates this magnificent series. And
autumn is just around the corner. It's like the perfect spooky weather.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Harlan, author of Malevolent, do you have anything else to add?
No.
Not
really. Sorry.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer. You were supposed to add something. I don't know. It's I'm not running the show. This is just God talking to you.
Oh, I can add. Do we want to play a sample? Is that what I'm supposed to be doing? I'm supposed to queue up something. Okay. Actually, I do want to add something.
It would require a great number.
I was going to queue it up for you,
Ahmed. That allowed travel, it would require a great number of them. Possible, but unlikely.
If it were a person...
Similarly, you need a number of people. I wouldn't rule this out because we've seen the king travel between the worlds.
Have we, though? Remember, the king severed himself, leaving me behind after using a portal. One that was opened by someone else.
Right. So it seems easier for those from Earth, I suppose, to travel here than the other way around.
I don't know. But if we're narrowing our choices, people being the only way is less likely.
Yes, so not ruling that out, but saying it's unlikely leaves us with a place.
A set place within the Dreamlands that would allow us to travel back.
Yes, but also unlikely, because if that's the case...
Why didn't we come out of said portal?
Exactly.
Well, the king drew us in, with the help of his cultists. Obviously something went wrong. Maybe something we did threw us off course.
Or someone helping from a different place.
Help is what we need.
Yeah. Shame that trader was so useless. Though he did say he was not a canna.
Whatever that is.
Well, if we asked for help and he was not a canna, doesn't that imply that whatever a canna is could help? Or at least that's its function?
But what is a canna?
I don't know. It doesn't sound like a place. I suppose a person, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we seek a canna. Our ultimate goal is to get home in whatever way we can. If a canna can help, we seek them first. Yes, I think that makes sense.
Don't forget the glass he gave us.
Right! I nearly forgot. Oh, I didn't even consider it when we were...
It's smooth, Arthur. It wouldn't have cut anything.
How is our hand?
It feels fine. The wood is thinner and darker than our skin. It looks as if the flesh has been stripped off of our pinky and the bone is wood. The dark roots that lay under the surface of our hand is off-putting but not uncomfortable.
All right. Let's look through the glass. He said use it as you would, and that's the only way I would use glass.
All right. I see a red stone bluff, high above. It's cutting across the sky. It sits far above a red, sand-filled desert.
Like this one?
Similar, but not flat. Large dunes populate the edge of this desert. Before the cliff stands a tall stone obelisk, the color of sandstone, a pale yellow. I think there may be carvings on it, but I can't tell.
Anything else?
I don't think so. There may be a hole in the side of the canyon wall.
The sky. Does it look like the sky above us now, or does it look like the color of one of the other stars?
It looks the same as the one above us now.
I wonder if this thing is current. We should check again when the sky changes.
Good thinking.
Well, that didn't help, but it also didn't hurt. For whatever reason, this seems to be revealing a location. There's not enough we understand in this world to even make an educated guess at what that means, but I do think if we can find it, then it would be worthwhile to investigate.
If for no other reason than to understand what this glass shows us.
Exactly. All right. Break's over, I suppose.
Hey.
Good choice to stop it. That's funny.
All right. So that was Malevolent. The moral of the story.
It's
Go
not
pick it up,
as
guys.
boring as that clip made it out to Sophia. Just a heads up.
Well, you get the mystery.
Well, there's like because I do them in 5 chapters and then edit them to 1. I try to design it in like RPG. Yeah, I try to design it in like RPG feel, where like there's episodes of exploration, episodes of role playing, and episodes of combat, and it sort of alternates between those 3 every 5 parts, more or less. So have that as what you will.
Yeah. I mean, there are some seriously gruesome scenes throughout all the episodes, and some seriously intense combat, and some serious explorations,
and some sad scenes
as well.
Very
sad
scenes.
Yeah,
some sad scenes.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is Malevolent. What? is
Malevolent.
next, guy? Malevolent.
What is
So,
a volant?
It is a rodent.
Yep, that's what I
It is
thought.
a
A
rodent.
But it's like a Russian.
It's a die.
It's a male vodent. What do you mean? It's male vodent. I guess that's more Jewish, isn't it?
I was thinking of a vole. I was thinking of a vole.
Volant.
It's a dire vole.
Yeah.
That's what a volent is. Okay.
Malevolent. Vampire.
When Harlan first started Malevolent, I couldn't get Maleficent out of my head. I called it Maleficent like 20 times.
Which
it's probably because Harlan Guthrie had what's her name? Tomb Raider.
Angelina Jolie.
She was in the cast for a little while.
She was,
but then Harlan
was voicing Arthur.
Harlan refused to have sex with her.
Nope, I cut her out for that reason only.
So
because she just couldn't. She just didn't have the acting chops as me. I was like, sorry, Angelina Jolie, you're not as good as an actor.
Okay, so what's next? Do we have Kaiju? Is that next?
We got Kaiju.
Oh boy, you guys. The troll
Kaiju.
poll. I don't know how this happened, but somehow the skinning scene from Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon made it to the poll, and it was voted on. It was the one that won. Oh boy, I was hoping this would be something that would surprise everybody, because, by the way, for those of you who don't know, we are just about to start production on Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon, the full deep dive version. That, if for those of you who don't even know what that is, it is Matt Dinneman's very overlooked Gamelit horror masterpiece that he wrote, I think, a couple years ago, or at least yes, that's a lot of people's issues. They can't. It's so intense. It's so gross. It's such a 180 from Dungeon Crawler Carl, and oh man, I absolutely love it. And this scene is probably might be the worst scene. Might be the worst scene in the book.
Oh wow, I'm excited.
It's brutal. We're gonna do it. And Justin is gonna play a little boy, right?
Yeah.
And Harlan is gonna play his mom.
Yes.
And
I'll do it like this, I think.
Well, yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Sweetie.
Good way to do it.
I don't really know the character at all.
I am going to be the person that is being skinned, who is the main character.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So this is a sneak peek for you guys. The actual real audio drama / deep dive is going to be released, like the first episode is going to be released on October 31st on our anniversary as a platform. It will be free, and we will do the entire book for free. And it'll be in episodes, just like The Stars Have Eyes, just like Malevolent, just like Space Buns. Okay, so without further ado, and we haven't rehearsed this at all, and this is a troll poll, so we're not going to take it 100% seriously.
I'm already uncomfortable.
Yeah, good.
I'm already ready. Here we go. You ready?
Everyone to be uncomfortable for this. By the way, if you have not read this book already, go check it out on Amazon. Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon.
I will also say that this is an 18+ show, and if you are uncomfortable with the scenes of gore, violence, I mean, I think Jeff set it up pretty well, but you might want to, I don't know.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husband.
Hide your wife, hide your husbands, hide everybody.
As
ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Would say.
All right, here we go. Ready? Did you think you could shoot your way out of here?
Madam Throb asked. Yeah, that was the plan, I croaked. I clutched at the neck clamp. My wrists were not bound. My gun was gone. So was my pack. I pulled up the inventory using the menus and received an error. Weapons inventory and spells unavailable during incarceration. Would I get them back? Holy shit. If I lost my Epiviper, my money, I'd have to completely start over. Oddly, I had the sense that I could still shoot my grappling hook. I sensed my left hand could still crush almost anything it tried, but I wasn't going to attempt anything with half the town guards surrounding me. What was I going to do? The thought of having to actually go through with this sacrament thing? I wouldn't make it. Not mentally. The death sequence was terrible enough. A cleric stepped forward. He cast a spell, and my pants disintegrated. I felt them sizzle and disappear, leaving my legs exposed. A notification appeared and disappeared, something about my armor breaking. I still wore a tattered loincloth. My boots remained. Oddly, my belt also remained. It felt odd against my bare hip. I watched as a young Groundling girl, no older than 3, toddled toward me, holding a serrated knife as long as her forearm. She clutched it uncertainly in both hands. I kicked at her. "Get that thing away from me!" Pastor Brock waved his hand.
"You have been paralyzed. You are unable to move."
My body froze in mid-kick. I fell, not quite enough to choke me, but enough to be painful on my chin and the back of my head. I could still move my neck and head, but I couldn't get it in a proper position. "Get the fuck away from me!" I cried again.
"You're going to suffer 1,000 years of pain,"
the toddler said, her voice heavy with a lisp. She turned back to the crowd.
"Did I see that right?"
A second cleric stepped forward, putting a stool down on the ground in front of me. The stool was painted in a ladybug pattern. He patted the girl on the head. The child stood on the chair, wavering slightly.
"Oopsie, I almost fall."
You can do it, honey.
A woman Groundling called. Her mother. The Groundling girl stabbed me in my left leg all the way to the hilt. The jagged knife entered my muscle and bounced off my bone with all the finesse of a chainsaw. I screamed.
No, honey.
The mom said, coming forward.
That's too deep. Pull it out.
"He bleeds a lot."
The toddler said, yanking.
"It's stuck."
Let me show you on this leg.
The mom said. She grasped the knife, pulling it free. I screamed again. I watched in horror as my health points actually rose. I eyed that second cleric, the one who'd disintegrated my pants, his hands aglow. The mom pinched a handful of skin on my upturned thigh, the one still raised in a frozen kick.
Don't cut it. We want the skin, nothing else. It's like peeling a fruit.
I screamed anew as the mom filleted a 10-inch strip of skin off my thigh.
Gimme! Gimme!
The girl said, clapping her hands, reaching for the knife.
So, you think you can do it like that?
The mom said, handing back the blade. Fuck! I cried. Heal me! Jesus Christ! The cleric did not heal me this time. The mother gave me a chilly look.
Language,
she said.
There are children about.
"I can do it,"
the toddler said.
Okay.
The mom said.
Nice and gentle, cut slow, down and slow, like you're peeling the skin of a fruit. Be careful you don't nick yourself, honey.
"Okay, Mommy,"
the girl said. She plunged the knife in my leg again. It went straight in, but this time it was stopped by the bone. She yanked it out and stabbed again, and again.
"Whoopsie,"
she said. My world was pain. It became my life, my religion, my breath, and my blood. It was all I knew, all I would ever know. After the toddler, older children came. The ones who knew what they were doing were worse than those who didn't because the clerics did not heal me between each proper flaying. Both of my legs looked like one of those shawarma spits, with bits of skin and fat hanging off like paper streamers. An impossibly large pool of blood cascaded off the pedestal and ran into a channel, streaming downward into the temple and toward the dais at the back of the badger's throat. It took almost a full day and dozens of healings for all of the town's children to get their strip of flesh. I watched, dazed, as a group of child groundlings rushed through the streets, waving the skin at each other, shrieking with laughter, pretending like the strips of leather were whips. One child fastened a crude slingshot out of his piece, and spent a full hour shooting rocks at my head before one of the mechs finally shooed him away. I spent this time attempting to break my mind in two. Dr. Metcalf had tried to teach me how to do it when I was dealing with Chris. At the time, I had thought the whole thing was stupid. Mary had clutched onto it like a lifeline, though, spending hours meditating. It had never worked for me, but it seemed to help Mary. Not a lot, but during those first few months, anything that eased an ounce of the pain was worth it. Still, I clutched onto the idea of being able to disassociate myself like it was the last crumb of food in the world. And it worked. Not like I intended, but by God, it worked. I thought of Chris. I thought of that day. There was no pain that could supersede the memory. None. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit because this is like flashback stuff that's not part of the scene, but I love how the sound effects are still going. They're like, he's like making a hamburger ball.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I became acutely aware of my left hand. Assuming my grappling hook worked. No. Let's see, let's keep going. What if I did it? Decided to wait, spend the next 24 hours. Let's see. Okay, so now he's trying to escape. I spent the next 24 hours in a constant state of terror and pain. When my mech guard wasn't looking, I attempted to use my powerful left hand to break the rod and chains that held me. It felt as if I was almost strong enough to break the pole, but not quite enough. I devoted some time to reading the menus, and I realized my left hand actually had a 2x strength bonus, so my strength of 15 was actually 30 in that hand only. I still had 4 attribute points from leveling up, and I tossed all 4 into my strength, bringing it up to 19, making my left hand a godlike 38. I tried again, and I felt the pole start to break under my fingers. But then it stopped.
Self-escape is not possible until your debt is paid or canceled. Fuck you!
I screamed out at the air, startling the mech, cleric, and boy who had been sleeping at my feet. Gulch looked at me with wide eyes.
You said a bad word,
he said. I took a deep breath, remembering. Chris said the same thing to Mary all the time. I rarely swore. Mary swore like a sailor with a splinter in her eye. I'll try to be better, I said at the boy. Gulch nodded solemnly and went back to sleep. I can't remember exactly where it keeps going.
I think the flaying is done.
The flaying it might be done. At least, yeah. Oh. Okay. So anyway, actually, you know what? I think this is maybe a good place to stop because it only gets worse from here. Ooh. And I don't want to spoil all that stuff for all of you guys who are going to be experiencing it.
Sounds fun. I'm excited.
The real version. But yeah. That is Kaiju Battle Surgeon. That's a little sneak peek. This is actually the scene where a particular character named the Canadian first shows up and hangs out with the main character. There's a certain actor who's here, actually, who I had in mind for that character. So
I don't know how he is yet, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I encourage you to listen to read the rest of this chapter and find him. I think he's nearly done. He's great. He's super good. But
I'm excited.
Anyway, that was our troll poll for today. Thank you guys.
Well
for
done,
being
everyone.
Such a nice family, so we could do family things together.
Kind of reminds me of. Did you guys ever see the old Judge Dredd?
Yes.
Like the old Sylvester Stallone one. I love that one.
Saw that.
It's good.
Oh, it's so good.
It's fun.
But there's that scene with like the cannibal family out in the wastes.
Oh
Remember
yeah.
At the beginning, sort of.
Yeah.
Ma, I want his eyes.
Like, you wait your turn, and they're like, it's so good. I love it. And Rob Schneider's his sidekick. It's a great.
Oh yeah.
Rob
Yeah, it's-
Schneider.
Dude,
Yeah.
Rob Schneider, yeah.
He's like his
Goose
comedic
Bigelow, Male
sidekick.
Gigolo.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I just don't picture him in.
Honestly,
I totally forgot about that.
The OG Judge Dredd movie is fantastic if you just don't think of it as Judge Dredd. If you're like, yo, like if you didn't know it was a comic book series, if you're just like, I want to see a weird fucking 90s movie, like a la Army of Darkness level of like, you know, humor and action and gore, it's amazing. As a Judge Dredd movie, it's awful, but like as just its own thing, it's so good. Such a fun movie.
Well, I thought that the comics was also a bit campy too, wasn't it? Like
it is, but like
it
it ruins some like fundamental logic. Like number one is Dredd never takes off his helmet, and like literally in the first scene he walks up and takes off his helmet and never puts it back on. Like it's so, you know what I mean? It's like if Iron Man didn't have an Iron Man
They
suit.
just wanted to show Sylvester Stallone's face. That's all they wanted to
that's
do.
it. The new Dredd movie is legitimately fantastic, and it is
Carl
fantastic because they honor the character. Have you guys not seen the new Dredd?
Oh, I've seen it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's
so good.
But that one is legit
impeccable.
Dreddy.
Well, that's what I mean. That one is like legit Dredd, and it's a legit movie. But like, there's honestly, it's really one of my favorite lines from that movie is like, it's like a little robot, and it's like, eat recycled food. It's good for the environment and okay for you. And it's like going through the halls, just saying that. It's like such a good fucking line. It's good for the environment and okay for you.
I might watch that tonight. I might watch that.
So
either one of them. I've seen them both, but I personally
I've definitely seen
the new one the most. But like,
I've seen them equal amounts of times for different reasons, because the OG one is like really silly and really awesome, and my brother and I used to quote it like all the time. So it's definitely a quotable 90s movie.
Homework for any of you watching or listening.
You watch
one or two of those, one or both of those movies. They're great.
It honestly depends on your feeling, right? If you're like, I really want to go for like an action movie, watch Dredd. If you want like an Army of Darkness level stupid, watch Judge Dredd, because it's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So our last segment for today is Gary's Games minus Gary equals games.
I can be Gary. Hello, I'm Gary. Gary Furlong, voiceover.
Okay,
it's going to be a great game tonight.
Yeah, good work. So you can be Gary for today, Harlan.
No, I don't want to be Gary.
All right. So Gary's Games minus Gary equals games. So yeah, what are we doing today? We are doing actor switch.
Actor switch.
Mm-hmm.
We're all just actors, and we're all gonna just play the switch. So everybody pull out your switches, and let me know what you're playing.
I'll read the rules to you guys. While I'm reading it, you guys will be able to pick up on the fact that we need suggestions from the audience. So as soon as you hear what kind of suggestions we need, you start typing, motherfuckers. Character. 3 actors. There's 3 of us, so we're already way ahead of the game. Are given a situation and a character from the audience. They start a scene. At some point during the scene, you call out, switch! The 3 actors now have to switch characters. That means they have to really listen to each other and be aware of who the other characters are so that they can pick up another character at any moment. And remind students, the aim is to keep striving for a complete cohesive scene no matter what the situation. So, we need suggestions for characters. And we need suggestions for what the scene is.
So let's hear it. And I think that Ahmed is going to be playing our the switch shouter. Switch!
Oh my god!
There we go.
That's amazing. Can you get a version that's a little more bit crushed? Like so, it sounds like it's from a Super Nintendo game.
Get like 12 kbps.
I think that was just him shouting into the mic.
Oh.
Scrooge McDuck. I don't even remember how Scrooge McDuck sounds.
Dutch,
other than being Scottish.
I can do Scrooge McDuck.
Magic of the lamp. It's something like that. Maybe we'll just all be Scrooge McDuck and then we'll change. It'll be easy.
All right. I like the Scrooge McDuck suggestion.
Edward,
we need more.
Edward Scissorhands?
Audience.
Does he talk? I don't even think he talks that much.
Yeah,
he's just very timid.
Edward Scissorhands, pastry chef. Now, don't forget. Okay, so Danny DeVito as Judge Dredd. Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin. I'll take Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin. So who am I, Danny DeVito? Who the fuck does Danny DeVito?
Well, you're either going to be Danny DeVito or Edward Scissorhands or Zach Morris. Who's Zach Morris?
Who's Zach Morris?
I don't know.
I'll Google it.
Is that you, Royal Slimness? Are you just saying that we
Zach Morris? Oh, from Saved by the Bell. Yeah, let me be a white guy with pastry on top. How does he a defining character? I'm Zach Morris. This is how I talk. I'm a regular person.
Hi, Zach. Pleased to meet you.
I can do Thor.
Come on over.
I can do Thor.
Let's grab some didgeridoos and play Tame the Crocodile.
All right, so what?
Right, we need
I can do Thor. If you wanted to be Scrooge McDuck, he just sort of talks like this, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's good.
Sort
With a
of,
bit of
yeah,
an
he's-
accent.
He's got a little bit more in the chest, you know.
Well, it depends on
I
if
could
you're
do
doing
more
the
than
Chris
the chest.
Hemsworth or just
Maybe I'm
course.
just doing
talk
the
about
old
Wild
character.
all the time.
Why would you do anything else besides the Chris?
Little man. I just kind of more in the chest than I can do that. Give me my hammer. Things like that.
Ed Wood. Bill says Ed Wood.
We need a scenario. Break the fourth
Yeah, like-
wall. Okay.
That's the
okay,
scenario?
so wait, yeah, what? No, that's
We're in a
one.
sound booth theater. Oh, Sean Connery. That's an easy one. Let's do that.
Okay, hold on. We
Although
have
going from
Spaceballs.
Scrooge
Spaceballs radar jamming. I think
Isn't that the guy who's like... Isn't
Yeah.
that the...
Yeah.
That's like the dude from Police Academy.
Right. But yeah, we got the blips, the Fritz,
Yeah.
and the slips or something
We
like
ain't found shit. Combing the desert, yeah.
that. Okay, so do we want to do the radar jamming, or do we want to?
How does that a
break the fourth
character,
wall.
though?
No, it's not.
That's
It's a situation.
Oh, that's the situation.
Yeah.
So we just like read that, or we have to spam on it? Like, how do you spam on it?
Yeah,
That's
we just
like a
we just
one
riff.
bit.
We just riff on
Fine.
the
So
radar jam.
I'll take Sean Connery because I feel like that's
Right.
going to be more interesting and cohesive. Michael Winslow, that's the dude's character. David Winslow, Michael's brother, David.
Okay, so Justin,
Sean
you are Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin, yeah.
Harlan is Con Connery,
I'll
And
be Con
I-
Connery.
and I am Scrooge McDuck, I guess.
Well, so we'll do two Scottish, but in very different ways.
Yeah, exactly. All
Jam
right,
that radar, son.
jam the radar. Do you know how expensive that thing was?
What do you mean, expensive? I'm talking about physically jamming it, not actually... Steve, can you explain to him
what?
exactly what jamming a fucking radar means?
Well, sure. Scrooge, here's what you gotta do. You gotta get down real low
No,
and
stop
move
crouching.
towards go towards the computer.
It's not going
and
to
then
attack
you're gonna,
you, Steve.
crikey! Look at this. We got
listen.
12 incoming ships all around us. They're surrounding us.
Wait,
way?
which way? Let's do clockwise.
Oh, I'm right around this. Wait, I went counterclockwise because it's Australia, mate. One on my screen. Oh yeah, it is clockwise. Oh, looky here. I'm gonna get up on the radar jam. This is how you do it, Scrooge. See,
Now
you
be
want to get
careful,
right
son.
beneath it.
Now,
Do you
I don't think we
understand?
should be doing this. What's my accent? What's Scrooge McDuck
Scottish.
again?
He's Scottish,
Scottish.
but just
He's
straight up Scottish.
Straight up Scottish.
You wanna make-
I don't think it makes sense. I think we should blow them to hell.
You
I
gotta
think
get
they're just
under
being
it and get right under the jammer and then stop them from doing anything. Now, listen, Mr. Connery, is there a reason you want us to jam? Are there any enemies coming in?
Of course there are. There are women coming in. They're all after me.
What do you mean they're all after you?
Lots of ladies all around us, surrounding us completely.
I'm not going to jam the bloody radar just because ladies are coming after you. Aren't you famous for slapping them away anyway? Steve,
I'm
knock
gonna
some sense
jam
into him.
something,
Aren't
I'll
you
tell
like
you.
first lieutenant or something? I'm just the radar comms guy.
Well, I'm really excited about this.
I've been studying women for a long time, and here's how you deal with them. All right, you got to get down here. You got to be ready, right
It's the
on the
third
radar.
bloody time you've gotten down. What? You asked me to jam... Sean Connery, you told me
tell
that
you.
you wanted me to jam the bloody radar. For women that are coming, this is the most disloyal ship.
that.
No wonder it's the last in the fleet. All of our
very
other ships have been
inconsistent.
destroyed. Look out the porthole window. We're in a field of debris. And this is what you want to come at us with. We're a crew of 3 bloody people.
Was that a switch
Was that a switch?
or an end? That's the end
that the
because
end?
we've already rotated all the way around. Okay,
All right, that's the end. Okay.
Okay. All right. Good practice round. I think we can do one more.
Yeah, let's do another
I
one.
tried to push a story forward.
You
I was
sure
like,
did.
I
You sure
think we
did.
All right. We did okay. All right. We need more suggestions, guys. We already have some. We have Zach Morris.
That's not a suggestion that we're going to take because I don't
We
even
need
know
more
what that is.
suggestions. Pump them through.
Danny DeVito as Judge Dredd. which I kind of want to do. I kind of like that idea.
So
Thor,
then I started blasting. That's all you gotta say.
I think I could do Thor. Ron Perlman's too hard.
Oh, Sylvester Stallone. You did.
Sylvester Stallone.
I am. Listen here. You want to come in here and you want to start pointing fingers at all these people? I am.
All right, yeah, all right. We got to slide.
Hunter S. Thompson. That's a good one too.
I'm actually. I've got a.
There's all these people coming around. I don't even know where we're going. We gotta get out of here.
Oh.
All right.
He's like a fucked up thin Elvis.
Yeah. SpongeBob. Okay.
Those all work.
All right. SpongeBob as a superhero.
But now we need a really good set, like a story, like a plot. You know?
I'm gonna call Hunter Thompson. Did you already call somebody?
I'll slide. I'll do slide.
I'll do SpongeBob as a superhero.
As a superhero?
SpongeBob as a superhero. Trying to figure out who is the Thing.
Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. That's good. Okay.
Look, I don't know why you guys have stalks coming out of your heads. I don't know if those are eyeballs. I don't know if that's
Let me out of this chair, you fucking psychopath.
Well, look. It's all right. Just if you calm down.
Are you okay with this SpongeBob?
Let me touch your eye stalk. Let me touch your eye stalk.
I'm just a little cold, but don't worry.
Eyes.
I'll break out of these
Listen
chains.
to me, you psychopath. No, get him away from me. Now listen here. You can't tie people up without reasonable doubt, you fucking crazy.
I was thrown out by Nixon a long time ago. Look.
Who gave Hunter S. Thompson a knife anyway, and where'd you get all this fucking rope?
I'm telling you now, Hunter S. Thompson, if you come at me with that needle, by golly, I'm gonna end you porously.
Just calm down, SpongeBob.
Look, I don't know where that word porously comes from. And
now listen, Hunter, untie us, and then we can actually solve this threat. Okay? Right. Everyone else is dead.
Sylvester, I have an idea.
Yeah.
If you put your back against my back, maybe we could push ourselves off the ground and shoot up into the air like superheroes.
Like the super rocket ship to the moon. I don't really know SpongeBob's accent.
Let's do that. Yeah, I'm totally down for that. Let's. I need to get my bow and arrow anyway.
No. Somebody leave the chair.
Get ready. I'm gonna shoot liquid out of my ass. Hold on tight. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that was a mess.
That did not happen the way I thought it was.
You weren't looking.
Really starting to smell.
Seems like I had a little bit of a thing. Listen, Hunter,
if
you have reasonable doubt, what do you have? Show us.
Well, I have his blood, and I got your shit now. And I got these 2 little petri dishes, see? And well, I'm gonna
Well, don't touch mine first. Touch his first.
I'm gonna heat up this little piece of iron.
No.
Science! Oh, the bad people are gonna come out.
No.
I don't think you understand exactly what it means to.
No, you don't want to.
Means to be a.
Hunter.
Maybe everybody can relax.
You don't want to
I don't want any petri dishes next to me.
Here we go.
SpongeBob, you're a superhero. Can't you break out of this?
Now listen, you're a superhero. Your blood shouldn't be toxic. Here we go. Seems perfectly fine. Seems perfectly reasonable for a little sponge dude. Let's try yours, Sylvester Stallone.
No. Don't do it.
You're okay. No. What this guy over here.
No.
Here we go. Let's see.
Oh, Adrian.
What the hell is this? Where are the people?
Oh my God!
Well, of course, I knew it was something to do with the bad people around here.
All right. SpongeBob was the hard one for me because I don't have a lot of experience with him.
Sylvester was the easy one for me because he's my dad.
He's your dad?
Because of how many times I've seen Judge Dredd.
Hey, I really dug your Hunter. It was a great. There was a great touch.
I was like,
in your mouth. Yeah, you got to. Now you know where this mumbling actually comes from. I don't know why I didn't think of that. All right. That's great. Okay, well, that was a fun game. I think that one's worth bringing back someday. maybe when Gary's games minus Gary equals Gary, but then
Plus
you add Gary again,
Gary. Yep.
and we have Gary's games again. I think we should play it then. Yeah.
Yes, we should.
Oh wow. Oh dude, it looks like your nose is cut off.
Oh no. It's like that old Not Are You Afraid of the Dark? Tales from the Crypt, remember?
Oh yeah, that guy for sure.
With Catherine O'Hara.
All right.
Oh no, never mind. There's an episode, but anyway, yeah.
All
Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Harlan.
coming, Harlan Guthrie. Thank you for co-hosting, Justin Thomas James. Thank you, all of you who watched, and please like, subscribe, share this video with people who you think would enjoy us raving lunatics play Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, hey,
Hey,